Hello students, we are going to write our first argument essay, but before you begin that, I wanted to point out the reason I start with rhetorical analysis in the course. The reason we start with rhetorical analysis is to make you aware of the different strategies that writers use in their writing, and I hope that you will try to use some of these strategies in your own writing. For example, based on some of the speeches or the poetry that we've read, it's quite clear that writers select precise, concise words and phrases of words in order to, for a purpose. And so, as you're writing, consider your word choice. Make sure you're using the most precise language possible, and also make sure that your language is concise. Say what you need to say in fewer words. Another strategy that I'm sure you've noticed is imagery. As you're writing, try to create some imagery in your writing if it's appropriate. For example, if you're telling a personal anecdote or a story to support your argument or to hook your reader, make sure that your story, your anecdote, has sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and this will help you connect with your reader. It will evoke emotion from your reader, and it will also establish your credibility as the writer. We will begin to trust you. The most difficult challenge is to actually employ some of the rhetorical strategies like parallel sentence structure, and anaphora or repetition, antithesis. But you need to do that. So look at your elements of rhetoric and try to find some of these patterns that you feel comfortable using and start to develop them and add them to your writing. So we're not leaving rhetorical analysis behind, we're taking it with us, and we are using these strategies in our own writing. Now, the second essay is a causal argument, but you also want to make sure you go to the argument folder and print up or review The Art of Argument. That is Cicero's 6-part essay, which will help you organize your argument, and it also has suggestions on how to write a hook and how to support an argument. So review that, have it handy as you're composing your essay. I've added the easeful edit sheet. Now you don't have to go through these steps, but it will help you when you are trying to revise and edit your essay. I don't know, print this up. Here it is. The first bullet says to highlight every other sentence. The reason you do this is because it makes it very visual what types of sentences you have. If you notice after highlighting that all your sentences throughout your entire essay are either very short or very long, then you need to do some revision. You should have sentence variety where you have both shorter sentences, more complex sentences, and this will help you to do that. Also, if you notice that you have some short sentences, you need to make sure that they're not fragments. Make sure they have a subject and a verb and a complete thought. Or if you notice that your sentences are very lengthy, then make sure they're not run-on sentences. You may need to add a period and capitalize the next letter, or you may need to add a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Just this helps you pinpoint some of these problems. The one tool that's very handy is to make sure you have no second pronouns. And so the way you do this, you go to Home, Find, and in the Find What, you have to make sure you have a space, and then you type the word you, and then you have another space. And reading, highlight all, and you can tell this finds all of these second pronouns in this little passage. Make sure you have none of these in your essay unless they're in a quotation, or it will definitely affect your grade. And you can repeat this by highlighting are doing the same thing, space, Y-O-U-R, space, and looking for your or yours. If you don't hit the space before and after the word, it will find any word that has Y-O-U in it, like youth and young, and so you need to make sure you hit the space before and after. On here it says to circle these dead verbs. These are linking verbs. They have no power, and they do not create any imagery, and so I encourage you to try to get rid of as many of these as possible. And in your writing folder, you'll find tips on how to do this as well. Make sure it's all written in present tense. And so just take a look at this and go over your draft once you've composed it. Now, let's look at the actual essay. It is in content, causal argument, and there's several documents you'll need from here. The graph template is the same thing you use with the discussion board, so I would pull that up. And let's look at the actual prompt. You're going to pick one of these topics. Okay, it's a current social issue, so select a current social issue and you're going to try to analyze the cause of this issue. And here's some suggestions that you can use. And you need to have some sources from your Eastville database, and I'll show you how to get to those sources in another video. Okay, now this second page tells you how to embed those sources nicely, and so just take a look at this to make sure you're properly embedding your textual evidence. You cannot just plop down an entire phrase or 3 or 4 sentences into a paragraph. You have to take the parts that you need and embed it smoothly. Now the they say, I say templates helps you do that. And so this is just an example, and I've color coded it for you, so feel free to look at this and use this in your writing. Okay, and I've also added the Cicero's causal structure, where I've changed up that format just a bit. It's the same thing. It's the 6 parts. It has the hook. You have background information. You have your thesis statement. But if you notice the body paragraphs, you list one cause. One cause of this social issue is this. And then you would have your support. And some of your support has to be from the database. Okay? Not all of it, but some of it does. And if you look at the essay requirements, it tells you how many examples of textually embedded support you need. Okay, so just use this as you're composing your essay, and you will submit it through essay submission. That's it.